Yo, what is up guys? Boris here coming to you guys with a tier list for rerolls. 4th Annie is right around the corner for JP, so I think it's going to be really important for people to know what to reroll for. A lot of people are asking me, and so I went ahead and looked up on Reddit to see if there was anything related to this topic, and I did find 2 days ago someone posted this really amazing chart, so I had to make a video for it. Now, the chart I believe is made by a user called Sugofest or something like that, so thank you very much for making this for the community. It's really awesome. And let's go ahead and talk about it, because this is pretty much going to tell you everything you need to know about all the units that you need to re-roll for. So as you can see here, you have a few legends at the top. Those are going to be the characters you want to re-roll for. And at the bottom, you have their subs. So before I start talking about the list, I want to explain to you guys why this is a little bit different than it has been in the past. Now, in the past, you would re-roll for a legend that was very powerful, and that legend would carry you through the game. And that's really all you have to worry about. But as time went on, OPTC has been more reliant on the subs than the actual legends themselves. To put that into perspective, in the past there was maybe about 1 or 2 legends that could clear all the content very easily. Now there's like 8 or 9 legends that can do that, but they do require their subs. So the game has definitely become more about, when I say subs, I mean the other units, the non-captain units, the sailor units. They are becoming more and more important as the game goes on, which in my opinion is a really good thing. But it does make re-rolling very tricky. So this list will help you guys pretty much decide if your account is worth keeping or if you want to keep re-rolling. And again, shouts out to the Reddit user for making this. This is really awesome. Now, let's go ahead and start with the easiest, in my opinion, the easiest legend to reroll for, one that if you're a global player coming to JP, you'll have plenty of experience with, and that is Legend Lucy. Now, Legend Lucy, the reason why I think that Legend Lucy is very awesome for this is because he boosts 3 different types. He boosts red, blue, and green. So 3/5 of the characters in the game are boosted by Lucy. That means that, in my opinion, Lucy, you don't really need that much with him. With that said though, there's definitely some units that will really help out, and as you can see here, he's listed out pretty much a majority of them. So these are the units you want to look out for. Pretty much you have the Boa Sisters, which are amazing, best units on either striker teams or powerhouse teams, but in this case they are red and green, so they're going to go on Lucy. They're really awesome, pair well together. Tanjiro is a really good rare recruit who locks the chain, and actually very useful. I've used him so many times on global and JP, and it's really one of those like super, I wouldn't say necessary for Lucy, but really takes your Lucy team to the next level. Now, Aokiji and Law, those 2 are legends. When it comes to re-rolling, getting multiple legends is kind of important. If you can get 2 to 3 legends that work well together, you are pretty much set. And in this case, those are the 2 legends that I would really look out for, is Law and Aokiji, with the exception of, I'm going to go ahead and skip straight to it. You guys can't see it at the bottom of this list, but Doflamingo V2 is insane on a Lucy team. It's just crazy. If you compare him with a Law 6+, then all of a sudden you can get through barriers and you can deal damage with Doflamingo. Doflamingo deals 2 times the amount of damage of overkill that you did in the previous turn, which makes this a really powerful unit, not just for captain, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but also on Lucy teams. So in my opinion, if I pulled Lucy and I got, I'd say 2 to 3 of these characters on this list right here for Lucy, I would keep that account. That count, it would be really good, especially if one of those units is one of the legends like Law V2, Aokiji, or Dofi V2. Now, if you pull Law, Lucy, and Dofi V2, that should be an insta keep, because I'm going to go ahead and skip. I'll come back to Judge later, but I'm going to go ahead and skip to Doflamingo V2. Doflamingo V2, again, is one of the most powerful characters in the game. However, to use him as a captain, it is a little bit difficult. You have to pretty much run all driven units. And the driven units, they're decent. Pretty much his batch, plus a few other ones in there, but Dofi V2 does work on a Lucy team, so keep that in mind. So if you pull both of those, that's pretty much a pretty crazy account to keep. Now, his batch is kind of important because he really does need it. And not only do we need it, but eventually you do want to limit break them and skill them up. So starting with Dofi V2 is not going to be too bad, but you do need some ambition units. He's a 4 times booster, somewhere around there, so he should be able to clear content without specials early on. But as you get farther along, there will be some restrictions, so you got to be careful with that. And like you can see, other legends, other characters are Barto, Cavendish, and Diamante. So as you can see, there is a lot of overlap between Doflamingo V2 and Lucy. That's probably where I would start personally if you're trying to re-roll for an account. Is I would start to see if I can find an overlap between Doflamingo V2 and Legend Lucy, because there's a lot of characters that go in both. So that's probably where I would start. Now, moving on to Judge. Judge is very interesting. He's on global right now, but he's kind of very restrictive in terms of how to use it. You pretty much need to use the powerhouse units, and you pretty much have to use his batch. So again, this was the beginning of, you pretty much need to pull the batch to use the character, and this is sort of also the beginning with the rare recruits. You want to start limit breaking them because they get really crazy effects when you limit break them. So Judge, unfortunately, is not that good unless you can get the full team going. I mean, he's still very good, don't get me wrong, but if you can get Judge plus, I'd say 2 to 3 of the Vinsmokes, you're in good shape. That's going to be a really good account. I would definitely hold on to that. Now, I don't know how highly rated the Germa batch is going to be during 4th Annie, so it might be difficult to pull the rare recruits. But overall, I think it's going to be a great starting account. If you don't want to deal with Lucy or Doflamingo V2, you can definitely go Judge. But again, you do have to pull, I would say, at least 2 to 3 of the Germa batch. Now, as you can see there, they do have the Boa Sisters on there as well. But I do recommend trying to get the Germa batch if you get Judge. Now, we're going to move on to the heavy hitters. So the first 3 that I talked about, they're great legends to reroll with their batches. It's all good. They're very powerful. I would say actually Luffy, they're all really powerful. But the reason I say these are like the next, because these are the most recent ones on JP. They do some pretty crazy stuff, some pretty powerful stuff, and I feel like these are sort of where you want to tend to reroll towards. Don't get me wrong, Lucy still clears a bunch of content, Dofi still clears a bunch of content, and Judge still clears a bunch of content. But if you can sort of, try to aim towards some of the more recent ones, then that might end up being better for you. So, starting off with Luffy Ace, this is the first dual unit legend. Now this one is very special because there's a few things. So if you guys don't know, dual units, you can switch between them. So you can switch between Luffy and Ace. And then when you use a special, they become a combined unit. Now, Luffy Ace, when you switch, they get a matching orb. They get rid of paralysis. They get rid of orb seal, and they get rid of special silence. So it's a very powerful effect. Right off the bat, you're going to be able to clear content that maybe might require sockets for despair. And so this would make it a really good early game pick. The only problem is that he does require free spirit units to really shine. So some of the ones that are listed there are pretty much his batch, which is Marco, Garp, Kobe is another really good one from his batch. So those 3 from that batch is really important to get. They might be rated at 4th Annie. Brook is a free spirit booster, so I can see that being on the list like that. Sabo is really good. If you can get Legend Sabo plus Legend Luffy Ace, that is an insta keep for that account, because that account's going to be really crazy. As well as you can get Rayleigh. Rayleigh also works really well. And that is one thing I probably would disagree on this list, is that I would probably add Rayleigh onto the rerolled legend, because I think Rayleigh is really powerful. He is a rainbow captain, and he has potential of being a 3.5 rainbow captain. Plus, he's one of the best subs in the game. Would I reroll for just Rayleigh as a legend in himself? Probably not. But if you can get Rayleigh plus another legend like Lucy, like Luffy Ace, any legend that he can pair with well, I would definitely keep that account, because Rayleigh is very powerful. And when I say Rayleigh V2, obviously, very powerful. And I believe he should be coming to global relatively soon as well. So he's a very awesome captain, and a very awesome, actually an exceptional sub. I'd say one of the best subs in the entire game. So I would say Luffy Ace, very powerful character. You can get matching orbs on both of your captains every single turn. You don't have to worry about paralysis on your captains. You don't have to worry about orb seal. You don't have to worry about special silence on those, as well as despair. You don't have to worry about despair either. So it's pretty crazy. He's the only dual unit that does that. Other dual units do different things, but that's sort of what they did because he is a legend. And on top of that, the other reason to start with Luffy Ace is because he's very easy to socket. So socketing Luffy Ace, well, you can do through both Luffy and Ace sockets. So I mean, it's really easy, very easy to have a very early account, as well as you pull Kobe or Garp. Those are pretty easy to socket as well. I don't know how easy Sabo will be to socket if you pull him, but overall, I think this is going to be one of the more easier to socket teams and one of the more powerful teams. However, keep in mind that again, you pretty much have to stick to free spirit. So maybe down the line you might run into some problems, but for now this team is very, very powerful. I've been using it a lot. So the last 3 units here, actually I want to give an honorable mention to Robin as well. If you can reroll for a Robin account, Legend Robin is very powerful. It's just crazy good. Has a unique ability where she can prevent you from dying for that turn. Gives a lot of recovery. However, she does require cerebral units. So if you do want to reroll for Robin, make sure to get some cerebral units in there. And I would probably try to pair her with another legend as well. Try to get a second powerful legend. But don't underestimate Robin. I think she should also be on this list. But moving on to the final 3. The final 3 are pretty crazy. So Shanks V2 is insane. He is sort of a rainbow captain in a sense, where he can boost, you can run any color on the team as long as you have 4 of that color. So pretty much if you want to run purple, you just need to run 2 more purple units, and then you can run 2 of any other color. If you want to run another color, you just need 4 of that color. So pretty much you have your 2 purple captains, and then the rest have to be the same color. But you have to have 4 of the one color on the team for him to really activate. And the reason he's just powerful, his special is insane. He's a 2.25 type boost for that color, the dominant color. He's also changes those orbs to auto matching, from including bonded orbs to matching. He also is a chain booster. So overall, he's very powerful, and because you will probably be running double Shanks, you will get that ability twice. So you have 2 turns of that. He himself is very powerful. You just need to make sure you have an orb booster. And as you can see here, Akainu V2 is a 2.25 orb booster. So if you can get both of them, you have one of the more powerful teams in the game right now. Int is just incredibly powerful right now, and that is great. But I don't know. I don't think you really need Akainu V2. I think if you get Shanks plus any other good legend, that's probably a keep account. I mean, Shanks is very powerful, guys. Very, very powerful. And again, you can run double Shanks with 4 yellow units, double Shanks with 4 green units, double Shanks with 4 red units. His captain ability will boost everyone. The only problem is that his special will only boost the dominant color, but you know, if you want to run all purple units, then that's even stronger. You get a really powerful team. Now, Akainu V2 is sort of a similar thing. If you run Akainu V2, he's an 2.25 orb booster, so you do want Shanks for the type boost, but not necessary. And Akainu V2, to be honest, you can run him with penguins. You can run 2 Akainus and 4 penguins, and you're dealing a massive damage at the end of every turn, just due to his captain ability. His captain ability does an insane amount of damage based on the number of perfects you hit. So really all you have to do is hit your perfects, and you can clear most of the content in the game. So he's a little bit too broken in my opinion. But both of those are units that don't really require that many subs, which is what sets them apart from the other legends on this list, is that they don't really require subs. They have a lot more flexibility, and their specials are so powerful, their abilities are so powerful that they could kind of solo a bunch of content just with like really trash tier subs. So that's why I say when we're pushing towards some of the newer content, I'll try to reroll some of these newer legends. Although again, don't feel bad starting with the earlier legends like Lucy, Judge, and Dofi, as long as you have their appropriate subs. And finally, guys, we got Akainu, Kuzan V2, who is pretty much, he's sort of like Legend Lucy, where he boosts Psy quick. So he boosts 2 different colors. Lucy does 3, but he does do Psy, so that's kind of cool. It's kind of unique. And overall, you know, just that new batch that just came out with Sengoku and Hina, that's sort of what you want to look for. Sengoku is a very powerful orb booster. Hina is a 2x affinity booster, which is really powerful. And Aokiji V2, he is a 2.25 type booster for that. So you can pair him with Sengoku, you can pair him with other ones. That'd be pretty good. Overall, just a very flexible captain, just like Lucy. If you re-roll him, try to get good Psy subs and try to get good quick subs. And that should be pretty straightforward for him, nothing too crazy. He's just very powerful on his own. His special pretty much changes all your orbs to matching orbs, and also 2.25 type boost. Can't go wrong with that. So overall, I want to give just quick shout outs again to the person who made this picture. I'll leave the link to this down below in the comments. You guys can check it out. And hopefully you guys have a good time re-rolling on anniversary. We don't know what the anniversary Sugo will be yet, but when it does, I'll definitely give you guys info. And I guess I forgot to mention that the circle around Neptune, you always want a 1.5 EXP booster. Neptune is sort of the main one right now, so if you can get him on any account, that would be really good. And I think that covers it all. So thanks again for watching, guys. Talk to you guys in the next video. If you guys have any questions, leave it down below in the comments. And until next time, guys, peace.